For most of my life, I believed loneliness had a clear shape. I thought it sounded like silence in an empty house, like one plate on the table, like no footsteps in the hallway at night. I was wrong. The deepest loneliness I ever felt was not in an empty room, but in the dark, lying inches away from the woman I had loved and lived with for decades. My name is Harold. I am 87 years old, and the loneliest chapter of my life unfolded while my wife and I shared the same bed every night, facing the same wall, speaking about everything except the things that truly mattered. When people picture a long marriage, they imagine arguments, maybe distance after a big fight, or someone walking out the door. That was never our story. Martha and I stayed. We paid the bills, raised 2 children, hosted Christmas dinners, remembered anniversaries, and slept under the same blanket for nearly 60 years. From the outside, we looked steady, dependable, even lucky. Inside our bedroom, though, something had gone quiet in a way I did not know how to name. It did not happen all at once. In the early years, we talked in bed every night. We whispered about money, about the baby finally sleeping, about dreams we had that were bigger than our small house. Her hand would rest on my chest, and I would feel like the luckiest man alive. But life has a way of filling every corner. Work grew heavier, the children grew louder, responsibilities multiplied, and little by little, bedtime turned into a place to collapse instead of connect. I would come to bed tired, already thinking about the next morning. Martha would be on her side, reading or just staring at nothing. We would say practical things. Did you lock the back door? The teacher called about Susan. Your mother's appointment is Thursday. Then the lamp would click off and the room would go dark, and we would turn away from each other like 2 commas in the same sentence, close but not touching. At first, I told myself this was normal. We were adults, we were busy. Love, I believed, did not have to be spoken every day. Providing was love. Staying was love. Not leaving was love. And in some ways that was true. But there was another kind of love, the kind that says, I see you, I hear you, I still want to know what is going on inside your head. And that kind slowly slipped through the cracks of our routine. I remember one night very clearly. I had a problem at work, something that made me feel small and worried, like I was failing in ways I could not admit out loud. I lay there in the dark, Martha's back a few inches from mine, and I almost spoke. I almost said, I'm scared I'm not good enough anymore. But the words felt heavy, embarrassing, not like something a husband and father was supposed to say, so I swallowed them. She shifted a little, and I thought she might turn toward me, but she did not. We both pretended to be asleep. Years passed like that, filled with almosts. Almost asking how she really felt. Almost telling her I missed the way we used to talk. Almost reaching for her hand and holding it for no reason. We were polite, we were kind, but we were careful, and careful can build walls just as thick as anger. The strange thing is, we still touched. Our feet would bump under the covers. My arm might rest over her waist for a few minutes before I rolled away. But the touch felt like habit, not conversation. I did not know that physical closeness without emotional openness can make a person feel even more alone, because the evidence of love is right there, yet something essential is missing. I sometimes wondered if she felt it too, but I was afraid to ask. What if she said she was fine? What if she said she had stopped trying years ago? Silence felt safer than an answer that might hurt. So we carried on, 2 decent people protecting each other from discomfort and accidentally protecting ourselves from real intimacy too. The children grew up and left. The house got quieter. You would think that would have brought us back together, but habits are stubborn things. We had built a life of parallel lines. We shared space, meals, television shows, doctor appointments, but not the soft, uncertain parts of ourselves. I missed her even when she was sitting right beside me. The change came late, much later than I wish it had. I was 84 and Martha had a fall in the kitchen. Nothing dramatic, but she had to stay in the hospital for a few days. That first night alone in our bed, the quiet was different. It was not the familiar quiet of two people not talking. It was the sharp, echoing quiet of absence. I reached across the mattress and felt only cold sheets, and something in my chest tightened in a way that frightened me. I realized I did not just miss her presence. I missed the chance to say things I had been postponing for 20 years. All the almosts lined up in my mind like a list of debts. What if one day there was no more time? What if the last version of us was that silent pair facing the wall? When she came home, moving slowly, leaning on my arm, I felt older than my years. That night when we got into bed, everything in me wanted to fall back into the old pattern. Say goodnight, turn away, let the dark hide us. But I could not. My heart was beating like I was a young man again, about to do something reckless. I said her name. Just that, Martha. She turned toward me, surprised, as if I had called her from far away. I told her I had been lonely. The word felt strange in my mouth, like admitting a secret. I told her I had missed talking to her, really talking, not about schedules or problems, but about us, about how we were actually feeling. My voice shook, and I felt foolish and exposed, an old man suddenly unsure. She did not laugh. She did not brush it off. Her eyes filled with tears so quickly it startled me. She said she had thought I did not want to talk anymore, that I seemed tired, distant, closed. She said she had felt lonely too, but she believed that was just how long marriages ended up. Two people side by side, grateful but separate. We talked for hours that night, more than we had in years, about regret, about fears of aging, about the ways we had each tried to be strong and ended up being silent instead. Nothing magical happened. We did not become young again. But something opened, like a window in a room that had been closed too long. Now, at 87, we still have our routines, our aches, our early bedtimes. We still sleep in the same bed, but we no longer face the same wall every night. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we just hold hands in the dark, not out of habit, but because we both know how easy it is to drift apart without meaning to. If you are lying beside someone at night and there is a quiet ache in your chest you cannot explain, please do not ignore it the way I did for so many years. Do not tell yourself it is just tiredness or age or the natural shape of a long life together. The person on the other pillow may be awake in the same darkness, carrying the same unsaid thoughts, the same careful silence, the same fear that speaking from the heart might somehow break what still looks whole from the outside. Two people can share a home, a history, even a bed, and still feel miles apart, not because love disappeared, but because it slowly stopped being spoken out loud. I used to believe that loyalty was enough, that staying was enough, that providing and being dependable covered all the important parts of marriage. Those things matter, they truly do, but they are not the same as opening the door to your inner world and inviting the other person in. Distance can grow quietly, politely, without slammed doors or harsh words. It grows in the small moments when you choose sleep over conversation, pride over vulnerability, routine over reaching across the space between you. A marriage can survive like that for a long time, but surviving and truly living are not the same thing. What brings it back to life, even after decades, is honesty, spoken in a trembling voice, the kind that says, "I am not as strong as I pretend. I miss you even when you are right here." I cannot go back and reclaim the nights we spent turned away from each other, both of us staring into the dark, each thinking we were alone in our loneliness. I carry a quiet regret for all the almost words, All the times I could have said, "Tell me what you are feeling," or "Here is what is weighing on me." Those years are part of our story now, and nothing will erase them. But I am deeply grateful for the nights we have today, when the room feels softer, when a simple conversation before sleep can feel like a gift, when the space between us is small not only in inches, but in truth. There is a different kind of peace that comes from being known, even with wrinkles, even with old fears and old mistakes laid gently on the table between you. So if my story reaches you at the right moment, let it be a small nudge in the dark. Do not assume love can read your mind. Do not believe that long years together automatically mean deep connection. Turn your body toward the person beside you, even if it feels awkward at first, even if your voice shakes a little. Say the simple things that matter. I feel far away lately. I miss talking with you. I want to understand you better. Sometimes the most ordinary words, spoken honestly, can open a door that has been closed for years. And when that door opens, you may find that the one you thought you had lost has been waiting on the other side just as quietly, just as hopefully as you.